Hey, y'all, and welcome to Voices Beyond the Pages, the podcast where stories and voices meet. I'm your host, Audrey Shaunice, an audiobook narrator who got her start on TikTok, sharing my journey with all its highs, lows, and everything in between. Each episode, we celebrate the voices shaping the storytelling world, BIPOC narrators, indie authors, and the readers who love them. Whether you're here to learn, be inspired, or just feel seen, you're in the right place. Grab a drink and get comfy. You're going to love it here. Welcome back to Voices Beyond the Pages. I'm your host, Audrey Shaunice. Today's episode is for the ones dreaming big, even when the resources feel small. For the creatives pushing through the doubt, the delays, the dry spells. This one's for you. We're talking about what it really costs to become a narrator. Not just the dollars and the equipment, but the emotional and the mental investment too. Because people see the finished audiobook, the TikToks, the mic, and the booth, but they don't always see the resilience it takes to keep showing up. This is the episode I wish someone had made for me when I was just getting started. So, grab a drink, get comfy. You're gonna love it here. There's a certain ache in chasing a dream that hasn't bloomed yet. You can see it, clear as day. You can feel it deep in your bones. But your bank account, your schedule, your doubts, they don't always line up with the vision. Lately, Big Dreams, Empty Pockets by Bella has felt like the anthem to my creative life. Because there's beauty in dreaming bold, but there's also a cost. In today's episode, I'm sharing what it really takes to step into the world of narration. Not just the money, but the weight of self-doubt, the pressure to prove, and the quiet courage it takes to keep showing up when no one's clapping yet. So, if your pockets are light, but your heart is heavy with purpose, this one is for you. Lately, I've been carrying this quiet tension, the kind that comes from pouring your whole heart into something you believe in while wondering when the reward will come. Chasing your dream isn't always inspiring. Sometimes it's exhausting. And when the results don't come fast, it's easy to start questioning if it's all worth it. And one question we get as narrators that use social media as a resource to promote ourselves and our craft on live is, how much does it cost to get started? And the real answer, more than you think, and not just in dollars. So, today, we're going to talk about what it really costs to become a narrator. I'm giving y'all the real, the financial, emotional, and energetic price for chasing this dream. This is your get started guide, but with truth and transparency at the core. I'm going to share what I know right now, but bear in mind, I'm still pretty new to this, and I'm learning something new every single day. It's hard out here for creatives, and the world doesn't always celebrate the person behind the mic. But we're going to talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's get the money stuff out of the way because people love to assume this is a low-cost hustle, and it can be, but it isn't free. First, let me give you a recap on how I started. Some of you might know this from following my journey on TikTok, but for those of you who don't, let me tell you. I cleared out my office closet and hung comforters up on the walls with nails. I set my microphone and my laptop on an empty laundry basket, and I balanced the weight of my mic with a 5-pound hand weight. I stacked my meditation pillows up on the floor, and I recorded my first audition right there. I just felt like where there's a will, there's a way. After the loss of my Nana just a month prior, I realized how precious life is, and I wasn't going to miss any more opportunities because of my self-sabotaging ways. I've since upgraded, thankfully, but I'm still getting there. I'm going to tell you exactly the equipment I use, which, spoiler alert, isn't anything fancy at all. I use an Elgato Wave 3 microphone, which is just a plug and play mic, which means it plugs straight into my computer, i.e., I don't have an external interface. And Audio-Technica headphones. I know it's time to upgrade, but honestly, I'm a little scared. And did I mention how empty my pockets are? Yeah, that. But I will get there. My computer is a Dell 2-in-1. Like I said, nothing fancy. I also use a Samsung Galaxy Tab 9 FE. I primarily use it to prep and read my manuscripts and also play music for y'all during my lives because it's amazing for that. My closet is now insulated, but I didn't use those fancy soundproofing towels you can get on Amazon. I bought some mattress toppers from Target and sized them to the walls, sprayed them with Gorilla Glue, and hung them on the walls. I'm not using the laundry basket anymore. I have a track system that's hung on the wall with shelves that I use as a makeshift desk and a 32-inch TV from my local pawn shop that I use to mirror my computer that sits outside the studio space to reduce the sound, and an office chair. That's about it for my equipment and my studio setup. I do use Adobe Audition as my DAW or my digital audio workspace, and I now use Riverside as my hosting platform for my podcast episodes. So if you add everything up, I've spent approximately $1,400 over time with all the upgrades. But in the beginning, I only purchased my laptop and my mic. So that was about $400, including my Adobe Audition subscription of $20. Narrator Roadmap is a great resource, and you can never fail with YouTube University. Narrator Roadmap gives you a list of all the equipment options, and that's really helpful. Here's a breakdown of what you can expect to invest when you're first starting narrating. A microphone, which will cost you anywhere from $100 to $500. An audio interface, but like I said, I use a plug and play mic. That's going to cost you anywhere from $100. They're usually not that expensive, but you pay for quality. Your headphones, which can cost anywhere from $50 to about $200 because monitoring really does matter. Soundproofing, but like I said, also, I started with comforters and a closet, and that still cost me time and nails and obviously creativity, but you need soundproofing. A digital audio workspace or a DAW. You can use Adobe Audition, Reaper, Audacity, which is free. Some of those have monthly fees and some of them don't, so you choose what your best option is. Coaching and workshops. Not necessarily at first, but they are an investment that I plan to make later because honestly, I don't have an ounce of actual training yet. This is just hopes and dreams. Other tools that you might use might be like Canva or CapCut for marketing. You may need a domain like Zoom or Zoom Pro, and then hosting fees for projects. So sometimes it does add up, but it just depends on the route that you're taking. You can absolutely start scrappy. I did. But even that requires budgeting and belief. The real cost is having to choose between what you need now and what you believe can help you grow later. Now, here's where it gets steep: the emotional cost. This work will stretch you. You will doubt yourself. You will watch others succeed and wonder if you're good enough. You will work hard on a project that doesn't get the love it deserves. You'll question your voice, your value, and your ability. I've cried over auditions and obsessed over analytics on social media. I've stayed up late just trying to meet a deadline that barely paid. And some days, I had to record with a heavy heart, with that little devil on my shoulder telling me that I'm not good enough and that I should go ahead and quit. I've had to take the advice of people that I thought would be in my corner with a grain of salt, all while still bringing joy and energy to a character. And having to accept that just because they don't understand doesn't mean I should give up. It's not just about reading books. It's about carrying stories that aren't yours and doing it with care. It's about protecting your creativity when the world doesn't always clap for you. And the wildest part? Sometimes the biggest challenge is showing up when it feels like no one's watching yet. So, why do we keep going? Because narration is more than a job. It's a calling. And for me, it became a way to reclaim my identity. I started this because I needed to prove something to myself, that I was more than just a stay-at-home mom, that I still had something to say, something to offer. I had to realize my potential to succeed isn't defined by the viewpoints and opinions of others. What I didn't expect was how much this path would teach me, how it would force me to grow, how it would introduce me to myself. I'm getting the opportunity to see myself in the truest sense and appreciate the woman I'm becoming more every day. Resilience is the rent we pay to stay in the game. Faith is what carries us when the results are slow. And community? Community is that hand on your shoulder, reminding you that even in your weakest moments, you don't have to carry the weight alone. They become the cushion when the climb feels steep, the gentle reassurance that even if you fall, you'll always have a soft place to land. That's why I'm building this platform. That's why this podcast exists. Because we don't just need instructions, we need encouragement. So, if you're listening to this and you've got big dreams, but your pockets feel empty, just know, I see you. I am you. It costs more than money to dream. It costs time, energy, healing, hope, and sometimes a whole lot of starting over. And don't ever be afraid to start over, because you can rest assured that with every restart, you have knowledge that you didn't when you originally started. You're restarting from a place of wisdom. If you believe in the vision and you're willing to grow through the discomfort, you're already doing the work. Let this episode be a reminder that it's okay if it's hard. It's okay if it's slow. It's okay if it doesn't feel perfect yet. The only thing you need to do is keep going. This is Voices Beyond the Pages, where stories and voices meet. You're gonna love it here.